Now students, can you hear my voice properly? Still there are the problem of those two voices again? Just let me know. Can you hear me properly, people, now? Still you are facing the problem of the two voices? Yes, sir, means what? Are you able to hear two voices or only one voice? One voice or two voice? Still having problem? Okay, fine. So let's move now. Right now, I think that my voice is well audible to all of you. So I'm continuing my session again. So here, what was I trying to tell you, that if you have a vessel, in this vessel you have water, and this vessel is kept in open outside. Now this water is made up of molecules of water, and the water molecules are all bonded together like this, but the molecules on the surface, they are exposed to the surrounding. They can absorb the heat energy from the atmosphere very well, whereas the inside molecules, they cannot absorb heat energy from the surrounding that well compared to the molecules on the surface. So these molecules on the surface, they absorb heat energy, they vibrate more, they break the bonds, and then after breaking the bonds, they become gas and they evaporate out in the atmosphere. So finally, the water molecules on the surface, they start breaking bonds and they start going up in the atmosphere to form gaseous water, or what we call as water vapor. This process is called evaporation, people, right? So in evaporation, only the molecules from the surface, which are very highly energetic, they participate. Suppose if you have 1000 molecules on the surface, then out of those 1000 molecules, you have only few molecules which are very highly energetic, and they absorb heat energy from the surrounding. They are capable of breaking bonds, and against the atmospheric pressure, because the atmospheric pressure is pushing them down, so against the atmospheric pressure, they are going up. This is called evaporation. Whereas molecules from inside, they cannot break the bond so easily because they have pressure of the water molecules from the top also, so they cannot leave very easily. So this process is called evaporation. And in evaporation, suppose if you have a wider vessel, so A and B, you can see that B vessel is wide, so that means there are more molecules in the surface, so the possibility of the highly energetic molecules also become more. So that means from wider vessel, the evaporation is comparatively more, right? Now we will understand the factors affecting the evaporation. And in factors affecting the evaporation, the first factor is the, as just now discussed, that first is the area of vessel. If you have a smaller vessel and if you have a larger vessel like this, then there are more possibilities of highly energetic molecules, so the possibility of evaporation here is more. Second thing, the temperature of the body, or the temperature of the liquid itself. So if you have two containers like this, identical containers having identical amount of water in both, but this water is say at 50 degree and this water is at 10 degree. That means here the molecules are already highly energetic at the top. So they have more chances of living in the atmosphere compared to this one. Then the third one is people temperature of the surrounding. Now this means if you keep two identical vessels in two different rooms, one room has temperature 50 degree, another room has temperature 80 degree, and you are keeping identical vessel, you are keeping identical amount of water, then from here the possibility of molecules going up would be less, and from here the possibility of molecules going up would be larger, because the temperature is more, so more amount of can be received by the molecules, and finally they can escape the surface of the water. Point is, students, we have to talk about the liquid also. Suppose type of liquid. Suppose if you talk about two identical vessels again, and here you have honey, here you have water, then the water molecules are less viscous compared to honey. So the bonds between the honey molecules on the surface are comparatively strong. So these molecules, they cannot escape out very easily. So it also depends upon the type of liquid which you are talking about. Then we have the next factor as the humidity. In humidity, what do we have, people? Suppose we have two vessels, again identical amount of liquid kept in two different areas. Suppose this is Cherrapunji, and in Cherrapunji we know that the highest amount of rainfall takes place. So there is too much water vapor in the air. Now here, suppose this is a very dry place where there is very less humidity. So when there is already excess amount of water molecules in the atmosphere, less evaporation takes place, less molecules go in the atmosphere. It is because already there is too much amount of water molecules. But over here, when there is less amount of water molecules in the surrounding, so evaporation takes place in larger amount. And the last factor, students, we are going to discuss is the wind speed. So if we have two containers like this, and then you have water molecules on the surface, all containers, liquids are identical over here, the wind speed is less, and here the wind speed is very high.